Well, we've made it to Thursday evening, and welcome back. We've had kind of a snowy day today, but it really has not stuck at all. We've had wet roads, wet sidewalks, wet parking lots. Everything's just kind of damp. It's been a dreary-looking day, and snow showers are kind of on the decrease this evening. Here's a look at the Cleveland radar. Still some flurries and snow showers out there, yes, but the radar's not as active as it was earlier on today. And the Pittsburgh radar shows a similar story. Some moderate snow around Pittsburgh earlier on this afternoon, and some of this moderate snow was up into parts of Lawrence and Mercer County, even parts of Mahoning and Columbiana County did have some moderate snow for a time today. But again, with temperatures above freezing, it just really did not stick. Our forecast does call for some flurries as we head through the overnight. It is turning brisk and it is turning colder. Here's our wind map showing generally a northwesterly breeze blowing across the Great Lakes and into the Ohio and Mahoning valleys this evening, and northwesterly breezes. Always a chilly wind direction for us, and we can expect more north to northwest winds here over the next couple of days as temperatures take a turn towards the cold. Let's take a look at a computer model that'll take us out through this evening. High-resolution computer model called the Rapid Refresh model. This is run once an hour and generally is able to pick out little micro scale features, little snow showers, flurries that are real small little features. And here's the depiction of things as we head through this evening. It shows these little snow flurries and snow showers just kind of sticking around for a part of the evening. They tend to fade away as we head through the overnight then. Could be some minor lake enhancement later on tonight up in Erie County, Pennsylvania, perhaps southwestern New York, around Chautauqua County, New York, and even extreme northeast Ohio, northern Trumbull County, up into Ashtabula County. There could be some minor enhancements off the lake for a time tonight, giving a real small accumulation, maybe an inch or less. But for the rest of us, nothing more than a couple of flurries tonight, and then things are looking fairly tranquil for tomorrow. This is tomorrow morning. Could be a flurry around, and there could be a flurry just about any time right through Saturday. Let's take a look at the European computer model, which will take us out through next week. The green shades here when it's cold enough. This is indicative of frozen precipitation, in this case snow flurry activity. Here's tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. showing a scattering of flurries from Missouri and Illinois, heading over towards the Ohio Valley and into the Appalachians. Same story at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Most of the day tomorrow uneventful here, just a flurry in a couple of spots. Saturday may start with a couple of flurries out west of Cleveland, and maybe a couple of these sneak over to northeast Ohio, northwestern Pennsylvania at the end of the day, Saturday and into Saturday night. A chance for a very stray flurry or two will continue into Sunday. Big story is not snow, of course. It is cold. We're kicking off March tomorrow. The first weekend of March will feature temperatures as much as 10 to 12 or 13 below average for highs and lows. We'll be hard-pressed to get out of the 20s over the course of the weekend. And the jet stream taking a big dip. I'll show you that jet stream in just a second. Let's go towards the middle of next week. Here is, well, let's back up to Monday. Monday, another uneventful day. We may finally see some sun on Monday. Tuesday, storm system looks to be gathering strength, but it's going to probably miss us to the south and east. Talked about this a little bit yesterday, and this still has a pretty good chance of missing us south and east as we head through the middle of next week. This is Wednesday morning. This has a chance to bring some snow to the Tennessee Valley, parts of the Carolinas, maybe as far north as D.C. and Baltimore. Odds do not favor this coming our way, though. Computer models at this point do have some differences in the details, but the theme of all the models is this is more likely to be a problem for the Carolinas and perhaps Georgia and Tennessee than it will be for us. This takes us out through Thursday of next week then, so we're talking about a week from now. Looks pretty good. We actually have a chance to get a little above average temperature-wise in about a week to 8 or 9 days, a little window where it may actually warm up fairly nicely. It's in the middle of a sea of chill, though, that will be here through the middle of March. Here's a look at the jet stream as we kick off the weekend. Here is the jet stream as we speak. This is this evening's jet configuration with kind of a broad trough across much of the eastern U.S. with an upper-level low-pressure system spinning out here across New England. This is what's responsible for our flurry activity as we speak and heading through tomorrow. But notice what happens to the jet stream as we head towards the weekend. Here's the weekend. Notice things kind of amplify. The V shape here, or the trough, becomes much more pronounced. Again, this is the jet stream. This is the wind speeds and directions at about 30,000 feet up in the atmosphere, about the level that airplanes fly at. The brighter the colors on this map, the faster the wind is blowing, and the jet stream is a river of fast-moving air that tends to guide weather systems across the U.S. And you can take a look at the jet stream and kind of it's a quick and dirty way to pick out where it's warm and where it's cold, where we have a trough, and anywhere north of that trough, it's likely to be quite chilly. Anywhere out to the west and south of the base of the trough, it is likely to be a little bit warmer. So this is a chilly looking jet stream pattern as we start the weekend, and here is Sunday's configuration. Looks very similar with a big dip just like this. It'll start to warm up out in the west with high pressure ridging into the Rockies and Plains, but here in northeast Ohio and western PA and all the way down into Florida, temperatures will be way below the average for the entire weekend. Some people may be starting spring break this weekend down in the deep south, and by Florida standards, very, very chilly down here, with some places not making it out of the 50s in central and northern Florida. Not exactly what you would expect in the Sunshine State as we head into March. Here's a look at the map that I like to show, showing one computer model's kind of interpretation of temperature trends going out through the middle of March. The black line in the middle is the average temperature. Notice we are well below the average through about the 8th of the month, so this takes us all the way out through the end of next week. But then there is a little window, I mentioned that a moment ago, very, very late next week, or more so next weekend, so 8 or 9 days from now, that it could be above average for a few days. So this would be like the 9th, 10th, 11th, maybe 12th of March. Again, this is just one set of computer modeling here. It's not necessarily the gospel. It's not exactly set in stone, but the trend has been for perhaps a little bit of a period of warmth for a few days around the 9th, 10th, and 11th of March before we kind of dip back down closer to average for mid-month. One thing for sure, while we may go above average for a couple of days, no long stretches of mild air are in sight through the first half of March. Wanted to review February a little bit here real quickly because today is the last day of the month. Here is a look at temperature anomalies for the entire month. Blues indicate below average, reds and oranges indicate above average. So the month as a whole has been real chilly out west, including California, the desert southwest, and the Rockies. It's been cold here. It's been a little milder than average in Texas, along the Gulf Coast, heading over towards Florida. That's where it's been kind of warm compared to average. Another bubble of warmth, eastern Canada and extreme northeastern parts of the U.S. around northern New England. It's been a little warmer than average, and it's also been warm in western parts of Canada this month. But across the Mahoning Valley, we've been about 2 degrees below average for the month as a whole, and generally kind of a broad area of chilly temperatures for the month across the Ohio Valley and parts of the Mid-Atlantic states. Not a real remarkable cold month, not remarkably cold, but still it has been below the average. What does March have in store? Well, these long-range forecasts are always a little bit tricky, but here is one map to look at. The Center for Environmental Prediction runs these very high-powered computer models a few times a day. Here's the average of all of those runs of the models over the last couple of days. And the theme has been the same each time they've run this model recently. March is looking chillier than average in a good chunk of the eastern U.S. and heading up into the northern tier of states and down into the southeast as well. Now, a lot of blue on this map. This doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be way below average for the entire month, but we've got a pretty good chance here across our neck of the woods of having a month similar to February, where we're a couple of degrees below average for the month as a whole. And much like February, the best chance of seeing warmer than average temperatures, believe it or not, is in Canada. Eastern parts of Canada have a pretty good shot at seeing a warmer than average March. Also, the southwestern United States could be a little warmer than average. As far as precipitation goes, same set of computer modeling here. This map is a little bit harder to read, but the brownish colors are drier than average. The greens are a little above average precipitation-wise. We have a chance of seeing somewhat above average precipitation in March out across the heartland. Looks like a pretty average month for us here across the Ohio and Mahoning Valleys for March, precipitation-wise. Maybe a little wet northern Rockies and pretty dry down in the southern tier of states. So we'll be keeping an eye on all of these trends as we head through March. Thanks for hanging with me. I know this video is a little bit long, but I hope you found it interesting. I'll be on 21 News tonight, 6 and 11. Jess is on tomorrow morning, and we'll have your weekend forecast. Have a great one.